my gosh, it's already on the screen. Okay, what is the most important out of all those three? Yes, the last one, Tina, well done. Because if people see us, it does not necessarily they like us. If they like us, it's not necessarily they find us on the topic that we want to be found on. And if we are found on the topic that we want to be found on, not necessarily we are chosen. Because guess what? There is a lot of noise on digital space. There is a lot of things that we actually do not control. So a lot of people don't actually know what's going on in this big world web, and sometimes it's scary because what we don't know, we can't understand, and what we can't understand, we can't love or like. So to like something, you need to understand it, and then prior to this, you need to kind of be aware, learn about it. So isn't it nice if you can control your digital visibility? You control when you are seen and with whom you are seen, how you're found, and that you're chosen by right people. Because guess what? Sometimes the wrong people choose you and you don't want this visibility. So how do you increase your digital visibility? Possibly, what you can do? A lot of people know it already from previous experience. You can increase your Google presence, for which you necessarily need to have a website, and you need to have an SEO for a website. You can increase the visibility of your social media profiles, because robots that crawl around the world and around the computers just look for certain things, and then they kind of put you in different categories. And social media category is pretty high. So if you have a good social media account, it's high probability that you're on the first page of search if it is relevant for you. And another thing that we can potentially shine different media reviews and coverages. For example, if Daily News writes an article about you and Stuff publishes this article and people Google you, even 2 years later, you'll probably show up in the search. Reviews online, like if someone used your product or service and then give you a review, this third-person voice is really powerful because, well, number one, people trust it more, and number two, they are more likely to be seen. How do you increase your digital visibility? You think about yourself as an object that gives social imprint. Social imprint in online, in a digital world. So it means that you have something that belongs to you, which is your digital property. For company, it is called branding. For person, it could be called personal branding if you're in business. But for a personality who is just maybe as a side project or is into the charity, it could be called digital property. So what do we need to do for this? A lot of people ask me, oh, I go into business, I need to spend money on setting up a website. And I said that if you have capacity and if you have a need for a website, yes, please do. Spend $5,000 and do it. Or, for example, you can contract someone for less or do any other form of website presence. So sometimes it's only a landing page. But it has to be mobile friendly because everyone is looking for things on the device. And number two, it also has to be optimized. So it means that people can find you, right? But website is not the must. It will increase your digital visibility, but you will survive without it. This is something that I recommend for everyone. Google Business Profile. So if you have a business or a project, register it on Google. It's free and it allows you to collect reviews. It also allows you to have a geotag. Geotag is super powerful right now. It means that it is connected to an address and people know what area you are in. And for example, if you're in a business district, they refer to you as a business more than anything like that. So business profile is something that you do on Google. And another thing that we discussed a little bit earlier, industry platforms. Like for example, if you're a florist shop I'm going to use florist a lot today, simply because there is no florist here as far as I know. So if you're a florist, you can go into this different creative industry platforms. You can go to the local catalogs that show people who are into the celebratory industry, like weddings, for example, funerals, birthdays, gifts, and things like that. So be on industry platforms. And this was like a very quick overview of what you can do once and then make it working just by kind of renewing information and being part of these different groups. But what can you do to increase it permanently and kind of adding value to it as long as you go? So one of the things about social media that people sometimes think that if they set it up, then they are all fixed. Like everything is going to be fine because you've done it, paid someone, or someone's relative did it. It's not necessarily true. Once a customer told me, okay, don't do anything because in 2 months a great photographer is coming, we're going to do a photo shoot, and then we put all the photographs online, and that's how social media is done. And I always say that, no, you do something maybe less perfect as a professional photographer, but several times a week. And by this time, when your photographer is already finished, has already finished his work, then you have an audience who is ready to consume your content. Plus, you can mix up with something personal, something from every day, and something with a professional photographer. So in this case, consistency is better than a perfection. Another thing is you have to choose where your audience is hanging around. Like, this is one of the most common questions right now. Businesses come to me and say, hey, can you set up a TikTok for us? And I am starting with the question, who's your customer? And they said, oh, it's baby boomers usually, because, or sometimes they say everyone, and it means that they don't know. So baby boomers, and I said, what do baby boomers think about TikTok? Oh, they think it's so annoying, and it's very disruptive, and it's only for young people. And I said that if you're on TikTok and baby boomer sees you, what do you think he'll think of you or she? And the person says, oh, they'll think that we're not serious. I say, hey, it is your answer, you don't need TikTok. But guess what? There is so much more social media right now that is very different to the mainstream media. It's not centrally based, so there is no Mark Zuckerberg who looks after everyone, which is a good and bad thing. So you don't know whom to blame because it's kind of decentralized, but also there is no one to blame because this is the people doing wrong rather than Mark. So hashtags is how people find you. Remember how we said that you need to be found. So this is how you're found. This is the power of hashtags. If you want new audiences, you just explore new hashtag. Search it, see who is there. If it's too much of a drama or sexual content, which at the moment everything is sexual content, you can't even imagine what it is. Just try to avoid unnecessary noise, because sometimes, like, Tony didn't want this attention, I hope. And the same as, for example, I would like to be seen as an educator, as a marketing person, and social media person. So I use these hashtags often, so when people look even on Facebook something, because Facebook became a search engine and some other places. So use hashtags and have a group of hashtags that you use all the time, which is your ethos, which is your values, which is something that you want to be known for. And use some hashtags from time to time, those that you want to kind of stir from time to time. Use raw meat from time to time and see how it will end for you. There's another thing that is social media is super powerful for is reviews. I know that some people do it through the email marketing. So when they do job or sell a product, they send a letter, if they know an email of a customer, and say that, hey, thank you for purchasing this. I really appreciate it. What is your experience with my service or product? Please give me a review and give a link, because guess what? People are lazy. If there is no link, they say yes, 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 but no one is going to do it for you. But reviews are super, super powerful. I'm in Chamber of Commerce, imagine situation, someone comes and says a presentation like, I'm so good, I'm the best florist in town, like come to me, I cover all the possible events, I do funeral bouquets, I do delivery of bouquets, I can send bouquets to the other town. And they say, oh, blah, 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 what's my telephone, what's the time, where's my drink, I need to talk to these people. All this rattle goes in our head. But if someone stands in the same room, in front of the same audience and says, oh my gosh, you know this person, her name is such and such, his name is such and such, he's an amazing florist. I had a funeral and my head was somewhere else and they just delivered exactly what I needed and on a good price, and also they delivered a note to another town. It's completely different message. While the message is the self, it's exactly the same. But the source of the message is different. So this third voice speaking is super important. That's why I encourage people around you to give reviews. So reviews on Google is the first point of contact of your customer. Like, what is the best restaurant in a new place? And if the person is quite high on Google, and reviews are a huge part of it, and you can see other people putting photographs, lots of good reviews saying that, oh my gosh, this is the best swingers club in Taranaki, like everyone has to go there. Then everyone is kind of buying this, because guess what, people who are and businesses who are liked more, they're liked even more. This is the mathematical theory of big numbers. So it's really hard to do it at the very beginning, but once you're up there, suddenly everyone loves you, much more people. So it's geometrical progression. But it doesn't really matter that you have only happy reviews. You can actually, being very smart, and turn a bad review in a good reputational, your property, your digital property part. I'll give you a good example. Like one of the customers complained that had a really damaging review, and it has like massive amount of views and people kind of commenting on it, and this review is everywhere. So if you look for them, this is the first thing that you see on Google. So I looked into it and I said, you complained about review, you put it in your social media saying, oh, this bitch such and such, she wrote that about us. I said, remove it, because you're attracting attention to her, you're driving traffic. Stop doing this, number one. And give it as little time as only possible. Just stop discussing it with your staff, but you need to answer on the reviewing platform. Be professional, don't abuse, and make sure that you come to the point. If it is something that you cannot control, you can simply say that, thank you very much to bringing your attention to our operational fault or something like that. We're going to investigate. It shows that you're professional, that you are in control. Remember, we were talking about who is in control of your digital visibility. And this is you being in control, so you're answering them. How are we searchable? Like, remember how we discussed at the beginning that you need to be found. To be loved, you need to be found. Like, I mean, how do you make yourself searchable? What can you do for it? Yes, so if you have a website, put your efforts into the metadata. Metadata means the description. It's those hashtags that are part of the website, and search engines are lurking through the web and just looking for this particular hints. So visibility. Third voice from other organizations. Like, we don't have yellow pages, well, we do have, but I mean, how many of you uses yellow pages in a paper form?
Too small print.
That's a very good point. And then you have to sit down, find the alphabet, and then while you take your telephone, start printing, and even you don't even finish it, it just comes up. I mean, we are possibly like gods for someone who lives a century ago, or maybe 2 centuries ago. I mean, my son is 17 and his favorite music in primary school is retro now, so probably 1,000, 200 years ago. So what I mean that we own, each of us in our pocket, have an access to so much information, and very often we neglect it or we misuse it in our own way. But you can find basically anything or anyone if it has even small flag or digital print. So directories somewhere, and I put event finder there simply because events became one of the strongest promotional tools for businesses if it is done right. Also, there are a numerous amount of local media features. Like, for example, Hello New Plymouth is about local cool things that happen in local happenings. And there is a Neighborly, which is also a local directory. And it is like a newspaper online, and you can actually submit a brief of your product, service, or event to the person who is a journalist, or maybe someone in the media, someone who could be interested. It's not as developed because it's very centralized, it's controlled by government, but you never know where people can see you, where your audience is hanging out. And okay, collaborations and shout-outs. This is the person in the middle of the room who talks about you nicely, preferably. So collaborations, it means that, for example, if we do something with my friend Victoria. Victoria is doing sewing and alterations. If I would like to alter my Christian Dior jacket, because guess what, they don't do my sizes. And I'll post a photograph about me in my new jacket, and I tag Victoria there saying that look at this amazing job that she has done. Suddenly, several thousand people that follow me will see Victoria, who just started probably a month ago. So try to collaborate with those who are different audience from yours, but in the same field. This is probably the best result you can get. And interestingly, it is also about, online you can actually see the most common searches for the bakery. So there is an opportunity to find online what is popular. And also you can see whether there are other bakeries who offer this. So this is social imprint that you can use in a different way. You can just project yourself and what you do, but also collect information of what others doing or wanting. Right? For anyone who owns a business, start to rethink your target audience. Who is your target audience? Like my amazing mentor, who is from Plus More, which is our sponsor for today's session, he said to me, what's your target audience? And I was just like, interesting. Accountant asked me about a marketing question, and I said that I'm serving small businesses with the social media management. And he said, aren't you clever enough to serve medium businesses? Maybe you should go and find a job or something. But this is true, because you really need always to value what you're doing and whether you can add a value to other businesses. And sometimes we become narrow-sighted, and we need to, from time to time, we need to kind of sit down and look, hey, is that actually what the world wants from me, what my customers want from me, and what kind of where my future lies, okay? If you own something absolutely valuable, just show it from different angles. Let other people hold it and return back to you. So make sure that it shines, it has air around it, it has a flow around it. So just be very proactive about it. There are 3 or maybe 4 social media now you need to put attention onto. Yeah. Reddit is the social media for influencers. Like if it is talked about on Reddit for long enough, it becomes trending. It's a rule. I've seen it many times. I saw people getting to the #1 on YouTube views and things like that. So you need to be on Reddit, and you need to be in communities, you need to be present and talked about, #1. #2, emerging one is Threads, which is the vertical videos, and that's part of an Instagram. What's the difference with the Instagram? It's not driven by algorithm in such as that you see it according to the timeline. So whatever posted last, you will see. While on normal Instagram, whatever your interests are, your hashtags, your spheres of interest, latest seen video, you'll be seeing that. So threads are probably the easiest way to become famous now. If you are not a TikToker and if you are not these demographics, which is born from 2020 and up. And number 2 and 3 are Blue Sky and Mastodon. This is social media that has been included into different medias, like the big newspapers of the world. And they replace Facebook with it because they kind of a lot of things about what is good and what is bad, and this is decentralized. It means that a lot of pressure on communities about what's wrong, what's right, who's supposed to be eliminated, which is actually a ground for cyberbullying, for example. If everyone decides that, hey, this is person who didn't come today, right? It is going to say bad comments about them. And if it is a bad community, then it's potential for this. So in case of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg will say that, hey, this is against our community rules, you can't do it, while decentralized one can't do it. So Blue Sky and Mastodon are used in a lot of traditional media like newspapers and televisions. This is where the hashtags will help, because if people are searching for an industry, then you're more likely to be seen as a person that belongs to this industry. And this is also a reflection of necessity of focus. Like, for example, if you do many projects, like I'm like doing lots of things, so you really need to understand what's super important for you and just go with this. Because, for example, my food blogging and my radio show are kind of everywhere. Does it bring me money? No. Do I want to keep it? Yes. Do I want to promote it? No, because it's kind of like a hobby, self-promotional. But I would like to introduce to myself hashtags that bring me money, right? Because we're small businesses. As Paul said, small and medium, right? Yes, so it means that I'll introduce, and I want to control that part. I want to, people see me as the person in marketing and social media. So I would like to appear in those searches, right? So when people search my name, I would like underneath to be the results like social media, marketing management, and things like that, yeah? And probably all of us like that, because we are not kind of a two-dimensional, we're all multi-dimensional people. But we have a choice what part of us to show to the others, right? Thank you, guys. So we can at work.